Hi, welcome to another flute review, where we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the flutes from my collection. Today, we're going to be looking at a flute that is called Song of Stars. Flute maker is Tom Rolfsmeyer. He's out of Tucson, Arizona. Been making flutes for a couple of years, I think. Comes from a woodworking background, and the workmanship on this flute is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. He uses a two-piece routed design, glued together, or glued back together. And I am not certain, because of the type, this is African Mahogany that he used on this particular flute. And I'm not sure, because of the grain pattern, I don't know for sure if this started out as one piece of wood and then was cut, opened up, routed, and glued back together, or if it started out as two pieces of wood. Doesn't really matter, regardless of that beautiful craftsmanship. The seam line is very, very hard to find. I'm not sure if it's going to show up here or not. He uses a very, very short, height-wise block. And the block has all of the flute information on there. It's not going to be easy to see here with all of the wraps of the little leather tie on there. But it has this little logo emblem, I'll call it. There will be close-up pictures of this while I'm playing, of all of the details of the flute and the block. The flue is in the flute body. One thing that I have to say is I do wish that the markings that he used on the block could have been put maybe on the underside of the flute itself, or the side of the nest, or something like that. I like to be able to grab a flute, and because of my collection, I can't always remember what key a certain flute might be in. If I grab a flute, or if I'm looking for, in this case, an F sharp. This flute happens to be an F sharp. If I'm looking for an F sharp, I might have to look at that flute or test it to see if it is that key. Some makers, many makers, do mark their flutes with the key. And this is marked, but it's covered up by the leather tie. High Spirits has their key designated with a little circle around it. Many other flute makers have different kinds of markings. There's one here that is kind of burned into the flute itself, and I would like to see that someplace where it is readily visible. when I grab it, so I don't have to kind of uncover things to try to find that. That's probably, well, it's one of the few things that I would say would be a negative on the flute. I love the flute. I love the sound of it. And here's what it sounds like with no effects. The finger holes, especially towards the foot end, are very, very small. The upper ones are not bad at all. The lowest finger hole down here, because of its size, it makes it a little touchy for half-holing. Beautiful sound, beautiful tone. I love the clarity in it. It isn't quite as responsive as I would like my flutes to be. It has a 3/4 inch bore, about a 3/16 inch wall thickness. The other measurements and everything I will put down in the description box below this video. One thing that Tom does is include a specification sheet. Or at least he did on my flute. And I know that he keeps track of all of the specs on every flute that he has made. He has called this flute project number 129. And I don't know if that means he's made 129 flutes up to this one. This was made in December of, I believe, is that right? No, I'm sorry, February of 2022. Beautiful sound, beautiful tone. I wish it wasn't quite as mellow. It has beautiful voice, but it does respond to tonguing and things well. but the notes seem to be a little softer than I would like. I would like just a little tiny bit more crispness in the voice, so that there's a little bit How do you describe this? How do you describe sound? It's so hard sometimes. The notes being softer like this, to my ears, seem to kind of get fuzzy in the transitions. And I don't know any other way to describe what I'm trying to describe here. It's hard. It's hard. The block is very, very low. Just kind of a little rectangle with his markings on there, as I mentioned. It's made of Purpleheart. Real nice hardwood. Very simple in design, easy to craft those. The mouthpiece is kind of a tapered, what I'm going to call kind of a bullet style shape. Very easy to use. It's not too blunt. It has kind of a flat, very small flattened edge. Trying to get the light on there. That is maybe a 1/16 of an inch on the little flat edge there. So for me, it works great. Now we're going to add some reverb and listen to it with some effects. Reverb and delay. Sorry, a little bit of wet out. Wonderful flute, wonderful flute. Tom has donated many of his flutes to Flutes for Vets. And I have a friend that is associated with that group, and they find a lot of flutes that they can provide to them. And I'm going to go ahead and give this to my friend to pass along to a veteran that we are all hoping this will help. The mellowness will probably be a great feature for them. Very easy to play, especially just the standard scale. It's going to make someone a wonderful flute. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed my review. As I mentioned, all of the specific details will be down in the description box below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Click the little bell down over there so that you're aware the next time I post a video, whether it be a review, could be taking a first look at one of the flutes that I get. Could be a music video where the flute is kind of center stage, in most cases taking the place of a vocal. Could be solo, could be with another flute, it could be with other instruments as well. Everything from sort of traditional solo style flute to much more modern, upbeat rock type things, jazz, ambient, meditative type music. I cover a rather wide range, and I hope you enjoy that as well. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.